Your regular programming with the weather alert tonight. A winter storm is blanketing Ohio in ice, sleet, and snow. Many counties now under snow emergencies.
Our entire team has been tracking this storm from every corner of central Ohio, and we are coming to you with more live team coverage tonight. Right now, our team is spread out between Delaware County and Ross County, even Marion County. We're also in the heart of Columbus, where city officials are prepared to give us an update on their plan of attack tonight.
Our Doppler 10 weather team has been tracking this storm for days now, and it just really keeps evolving. So let's go now to Doppler 10 meteorologist Caruso for the latest update on where we are now and what to expect.
Yeah, and you know, for us here in Franklin County, we saw snow through a good portion of the 5 to 6 o'clock hour. And then, you know, I just stepped outside and it's sleeting again. So again, not still seeing that complete transition over to snow because we do have some warmer air present that's sneaking in to partially melt these snowflakes before it falls into cooler air near the surface. And that's what brings us our sleet. So we are seeing that kind of battling back and forth. And you can see how quickly we went to whiteout conditions earlier this evening. But again, still looking at more sleet in spots, but we're probably going to be looking at more snow here working into Franklin County within the next hour again, but still keeping a close eye on those counties to the east and south, where you can see even parts of Muskingum County still not seeing plain snow. You're dealing with sleet and some freezing rain in spots, even to the north where we are looking at snow. You might be seeing a little bit of sleet mixing in here and there, but pretty much if you're north of Marion, you're probably still just dealing with plain snow, and we'll continue to see the same as we head into the early part of the night. But some heavy snow and heavy precipitation that's going to be moving in for us as we head into the early part of the night. Again, here in Franklin County, we are looking at that heavy snow, and some strong gusty winds upwards of 30 to 35 miles an hour will be possible from time to time. So we're also going to be looking at some blowing snow in spots, and that's where we could be looking at some drifting snow. Again, if you don't happen to have any snow fences up along some long back roads or anything, you're probably going to see some of that snow collecting. But again, still looking at that ice accumulating down towards Waverly, towards Portsmouth. Chillicothe, you're probably still dealing with freezing rain, although more sleet is working in. Up towards Fayette County and Washington Courthouse, again, you're seeing kind of a mixed bag. Some sleet, a little bit of snow, but still, with the way that radar has been showing us this transition, it has been slow going. So willing to bet you're probably still looking at sleet. But again, down to the south near the Ohio River, towards Salisbury, Athens area, rain, freezing rain, still no snow across much of the area. So a lot of changes coming our way, but it is going to be slow going into the night. More on the totals for our snowfall and ice accumulation coming up in a few minutes. But we do want to get a traffic update with Gabriella Garcia and how the roads are looking this evening. Gabby?
Yeah, good evening, Ross. Well, to keep it short, they're not looking real good. Go ahead and take a look at my map. You see a lot more orange than you normally would at this time of day. And you know, you see a road closure still happening in Logan. State Route 664 past State Route 56 closed for a couple hours now because of flooding in that area. A lot of those smaller roads are closed, so I'd stay home if you're near Hocking Hills, Logan area. Go ahead and take State Route 93 to avoid that situation. And up in the far north, Morrow County, I-71 northbound past State Route 61. Expect some lane closures there due to a crash. And if you take a look at my traffic cameras closer to central Ohio, you know, Columbus area, you see that those roads are frosty. And take a look at that frosty camera there, I-71 at Stringtown Road. If the camera's freezing over, the roads definitely are in that area. I'll keep checking traffic in the next few minutes.
Thank you, Gabby. Now, right now, we have 7 counties at a level 3 when it comes to snow emergencies. Delaware, Crawford, Morrow, Richland, Marion, Ross, Hocking, and Hardin, all at level 3, meaning you should avoid going outside. Most of our area, though, including Franklin County, Delaware County, well, Franklin County is under a level 2 snow emergency. I believe Delaware County was moved to a 3 earlier tonight.
Yeah, sure.
Now, Columbus City leaders are expected to give an update on the status of our snow warriors.
10 TV's Bennett Haberly live in Franklinton ahead of that press conference tonight. Bennett, what have you seen? You've been out throughout the day monitoring the conditions.
Yeah, I think, you know, Gabby may have put it well, although it could be an understatement. She said the roads aren't looking so great out there. I would venture to say they're probably just bad at this point, to be quite frank. It took us about 35 minutes to travel 11 miles. The interstates are still snow covered. You can't see the white lines. There's still a considerable amount of traffic given the weather conditions, given the road conditions. I know we've heard from ODOT officials earlier today urging people to stay home if they don't have to be out, even at this 7 o'clock hour. And as we go into the evening, we're still seeing a decent amount of traffic out there for very poor road conditions. Mayor Gither's expected to update us on the city's efforts to combat some of this snow on the side streets. As you know, ODOT tends to attack the roads that start with an I-270, I-670, I-70, I-71. Anything within the city limits, if it's a lane, road, avenue, it's going to fall to the city of Columbus as long as it's in the metro area. So the mayor's expected to update us on the efforts of the dozens of snow warriors that they have, like the plows you see behind me, that are out to combat the roads and sort of scrape off what's there. But even the side streets, even in our short travels over from the Easton area into downtown over here to Franklinton, the streets remain snow covered. A lot of people going slow, a lot of people with their caution lights, their flashers on, just trying to give everyone a little bit of space, a little bit of grace as well, as you try to move throughout the city this evening. So I think the words of ODOT resonate in this case. So just, if you don't have to be out, don't be out. And if you are, give yourself a lot of space. Don't get complacent with your driving. As soon as we get some updates from city leaders, that's information we're certainly going to share with you. For now, reporting live in Franklinton, Bennett Haverly, 10 TV News.
Great information, Bennett. Thanks so much. About 30 minutes ago, Delaware County was placed under that level 3 snow emergency.
And that's where we find 10 TV's Kevin Landers. Kevin, what are the conditions out there like right now?
Well, conditions have deteriorated rapidly here. We've got snow and sleet, and now we've got the winds. As a matter of fact, the EMA director was saying that winds here in Delaware County could be up to 40 miles an hour when it's all done. Behind me is US 23. Cars are not supposed to be on the road, but of course some people have to make emergency runs for food and so forth. But we are at a level 3 and cars should not be out here. 23 is pretty treacherous. There is a lot of snow on this road. ODOT tells me that plows just simply cannot keep up. They say it's falling inches an hour, and that's what they're going to be battling with throughout the night. Reporting live in Delaware, Kevin Landers, 10 TV News.
Right. Thank you, Kevin. Now, Richland County is also at a level 3 snow emergency.
And that is where we find 10 TV's Richard Solomon live braving the elements with this update. Richard.
Well, yeah, Yolanda, Andrew, I don't have to be the one to tell you how cold it is out here. You can just look at my nose. It's red as Rudolph's right now. But from 4 to 5 to 6 to now 7, you can visibly see how drastically this weather has changed. Now, remember, at 4, it was just raining. It looked like a regular day almost down here in Chillicothe. But now you can see on this sidewalk how much sleet has built up over the past 2 hours or so. Just look at this. Just look how deep this is and how many swipes it takes just to get down to the concrete. And also, one of the biggest issues and concerns that safety and first responders have down here is the ice. Take a look at this meter. You can see it is fully engulfed with ice. That's the same for many power lines, trees, things like that. The EMA director of Ross County, Paul Minnie, told me that is their biggest concern tonight. He said around 4:30 they were trying to restore power for nearly 2,000 Ross County homes. Now, under this level 3 snow emergency, the roads are closed to non-emergency vehicles. Minnie says response times will be slower than normal, but they're still going to do their best to get out to you. And he also says if you are in need of assistance, please keep those safety kits close to you. Now, I'll keep it posted on how things develop over here throughout the evening, and I'll give you another update once we come back. For now, reporting live in downtown Chillicothe, 10 TV's Richard Solomon. Back to you two in the warm studio.
Yeah, get in the car, warm up that nose, Richard. Anyway, great report. We are moving now to one of our northern counties. Marion County is under a level 3 snow emergency.
10 TV's Olivia Eugenio live there now with what's expected to be pretty windy and a snowy night there. Olivia.
Yeah, Yolanda, Andrew, it is still falling here. The wind is still blowing, and it has been for a few hours. We have been under a level 3 snow emergency since 4 o'clock this evening. And I spoke with the sheriff. He said there were a couple of different reasons why they decided to go to a level 3. He said because ODOT crews will be on a skeleton crew, and they will be plowing the main roads, but not necessarily the rural roads. But I want to show you where we are right now. This is downtown Marion, and you can see not too many cars on the road here. Actually, we have a truck coming through, but other than that, really not many cars down here. But these roads, they actually look pretty clear. The plows have been doing a great job here. But if you did leave your car here overnight, oh, there's a plow going through right now. You can see they're on the road. If you did leave your car here throughout the day and you're in downtown Marion, it is stuck. You can see the snow banks have built up around the cars that are down here, but all businesses that we've been passing throughout the evening, they have closed. And when I spoke with the sheriff earlier asking when he thought that the level 3 snow emergency would end, he said at least through tomorrow morning, but we'll of course keep you updated as we learn more. For now, live in Marion County, Olivia Eugenio, 10 TV News.
Definitely a long night ahead. Olivia, thanks so much. Still ahead tonight, we are checking conditions to our east.
Plus an update from the Licking County Sheriff on what people there can expect on the roads. Well, we've seen some tough road conditions around town.
Now, let's get an update right now from Lincoln County and Sheriff Randy Thorpe there. Sheriff, how are you this evening?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing fantastic, trying to make it through this evening. Talk about the conditions there in your county.
I would just say that they are a mess. This seems like the storm that just doesn't want to quit. I feel like this thing's been going on for a week, but yeah, there's not a roadway that we have that is not ice and sleet covered. I've been out checking roadways. I-70 that runs along the southern corridor of the county has ice and sleet on there. The state routes, the county roads, the township roads, they're all in very poor condition.
Now, Sheriff, do you have crews out there handling the roads out there, and are they keeping up on this? I'm not sure. Does ODOT handle your area or no?
Absolutely. We have ODOT District 5 out here, and honestly, they've been doing a very good job. I've seen them out all afternoon and evening. I've seen the Licking County road crews out. They've done a wonderful job, but we've just had so much sleet coming down. It's been coming down pretty heavily. Right now, there's a little break in it, but we've had sleet in the center of the county, southern, some snow up in the northwestern part of the county. So it kind of is different in certain parts of the county, but they've actually done a pretty good job today.
Sheriff,
Good.
have your crews had to respond to any emergencies? If so, how have they navigated through these conditions?
We've been pretty quiet today. I would say that the folks in Licking County have done a pretty good job by staying off the roadways. As I've been out and about, the traffic's been very light, so we really haven't had any significant issues. But I will say that the roads are in pretty bad shape, and if you don't have to be out, I would just stay home.
I think that is the best advice, just to stay home, stay off the roads. And we want to definitely thank you for taking some time to talk to us, because I know the road crews had a challenge because of the rain that came, and they really couldn't get the roads prepared for snow because the rain would just wash it off. So it definitely has been a challenge for them out there. But it sounds like people are staying in, and the roads, they are what they are.
Yeah, the next few hours will be quite telling across the state as the temperatures continue to fall well below freezing, but still you're seeing snowfall, sleet. Let's get over to meteorologist Ross Caruso for an update on the conditions. How many more hours of this stuff should we expect, Ross?
Well, it's going to continue well into the early part of the night and even the overnight here in town. But we've seen the return of sleet across much of the area, and one way I can tell is by looking at the radar. It's showing snow. But notice we're seeing the skyline now. So with the sleet, it's falling down faster. It's not obstructing the visibility as much. And the reason you can tell is, well, just step outside and look. But what our radar is showing us, again, is snowflakes at where it's being measured in the atmosphere. But as it's falling, it's running into some warm air that's actually partially melting the snowflake. And to depict this is another tool that, we keep in our tool belt to tell what's going on in the atmosphere. And where you start to see all those yellows and green colors kind of flickering next to each other, that's a difference in precipitation. And essentially what that's telling me is we're seeing a lot of different particles, snow, sleet, that are bunched together. But where you see it smooth, where it's all dark and red, that's likely a line that is separating where we're seeing the potential for snow to that of sleet. So essentially right along here is the divider between all snow to the north and west, and looking at more sleet and freezing rain for those that are likely down to the south and east. And that's going to continue to be the case likely until we head into probably about the 8-9 o'clock hour, because again, we're seeing a lot of moisture being funneled up with this system. So we're going to continue to see possibly some warmer air in sections with just the amount of moisture that's being funneled in, to where we could see eventually snow actually take over. But again, just take the radar with a grain of salt, because we are looking at some warmer air that's still kind of nosing into the region. So likely a lot of this is probably just plain sleet, and especially for those to the south, you're of course dealing with the sleet and the freezing rain down towards Athens area, still icing down around Jackson, likely seeing a little bit more sleet mixing in towards Chillicothe. But again, with temperatures well below the freezing mark across much of central Ohio, especially to the north, where you're just continuing to see snow in those spots, it is going to be downright cold tonight, and we're going to continue to look at the potential for snow, ice, and even blowing and drifting snow with some of those winds that are going to be picking up into the overnight, which is going to be making road conditions very difficult with the impacts that we're looking out of this system. So again, if you're wondering when is the sleet going to end? Well, it could be lingering for another hour or so across parts of Franklin County, because, again, this is going to be gradually drifting to the south and east. But seeing the sleet is honestly going to help knock down the snowfall totals, and it's not going to collect to the ground like freezing rain. It's not going to be as big of an issue. But, of course, with a lot of the wet pavement that we have out there and some ponding in spots, that will collect and, again, freeze over into the latter half of the overnight, because we will be well into the 20s and teens heading into tomorrow morning. But expecting more plain snow going to around 4 a.m. for us going into your Friday morning. Still likely looking at sleet down to southeastern Ohio, then some light snow lingering into the daybreak hours for us on Friday, and probably still seeing some light lake effect snow from the north with winds as they're going to gradually shift out of the north. Wind chills are going to be into the sub-zero department going into Friday, and we're really not going to see much of an improvement as we head into the day, with temperatures generally in the low 20s out there. So if you haven't had a chance to clean off the vehicle, you're going to plan for at least 5 to extra 15 minutes out there, especially with the caked layers of freezing rain, sleet, and snow. But as far as the totals, again, have to adjust these a little bit, given that we have seen this sleet and freezing rain shift a little bit further to the south, more so the freezing rain. But again, the sleet is moving southeast as well. But this ice accumulation is just associated with freezing rain. And again, that's where we have those ice storm warnings down south around Chillicothe into Ross County and some counties further to the east, including Morgan County. And as far as the snow, this is, again, is is looking at the totals. This isn't accounting for from now on because we've already seen a few inches of snow on the ground. We'll likely see another 2 to 3 again here in Columbus, but a little bit less in spots where we happen to hang on to the sleet as we head into the early part of the overnight. But nonetheless, it is going to be a dicey start to the day tomorrow, especially if your road doesn't happen to get cleared in time, and especially just walking out the door going to your vehicle. It's going to be downright cold, and we have more single-digit temperatures as we head into your Saturday, with likely sub-zero wind chills as we head into the weekend. We'll have more news coming up in a few minutes.
Is covering nearly 2,000 miles, dumping snow and ice on 21 states, which include the Dallas-Fort Worth region. Downed tree limbs, took power lines with them as ice and snow blanketed the area. Meanwhile, across central Oklahoma, drivers are dealing with a second day of hazardous conditions with many side streets snow-packed. Now, parts of Illinois and Indiana are expecting the most snow. We're talking about up to 18 inches by tonight.
It rained all last night, like the bottom half inch is just pure slush.
Well, that guy didn't look dressed for the occasion out there. Well, there is heightened concern in Texas. Almost a year after a freeze there led to one of the nation's biggest blackouts and killed more than 200 people. Officials say changes made in the past year have made the power grid more reliable.
Back here at home, many Central Ohio students will once again be out of school tomorrow. You can see those school closings right at the bottom of your screen there. The largest district, Columbus City Schools, has already canceled classes for Friday. There'll be no remote learning or in-person classes for CCS. All athletic and extracurricular activities also canceled. Reynoldsburg, Groveport, Hilliard schools, and several other districts have already canceled tomorrow as well. You can text the word closings to 614-460-3345 to get a full list of the latest closings.
Well, Disney lovers in Columbus will have to wait to see Mickey. Disney on Ice postponed its popular show today due to the severe winter weather. But it's not all bad news. The show scheduled for today will now take place on February 6th, and the one scheduled for tomorrow will still happen, just not until 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
The Columbus Zoo and Aquarium announcing it will close tomorrow. That's also because of all the snow and ice, but the zoo says its annual care and animal care and facility teams are still working to make sure those animals are safe during this time.
Well, for those who are in need of a warm place to go, warming centers are available. Just reach out to the Community Shelter Board to find a center near you. And that number is 614-221-9195. Or you can go to our website, 10tv.com, where you can find a full list of warming shelters around Central Ohio. The Community Shelter Board says they have room for everybody.
There is room for everyone in our shelters that need shelter. No one will be turned away for any reason. And in fact, we've had room for everybody since November of 2019. So if someone is in need, they can call and get a bed.
Again, that number is 614-221-9195. We'll be right back.
And right now, a current look at our conditions that we have across central Ohio. We are looking at some sleet and snow mixing in from time to time, and that's going to continue to be the case as we head into the early part of the night. But right now, still presently looking at that sleet. Even though radar is showing some snow, there's some warm air present. But over the next few hours, we will be seeing that changeover again. Even though we did see some snow, we're back to sleet. Those to the south and east, we're going to continue to see that ice accumulate down towards the counties that are under an ice storm warning into southern Ohio and even as far east is Morgan County, where we have been seeing that ice accumulation. So again, still looking at some pretty high impacts for us as far as any traveling that you're going to be doing. So very important that you stay home, try to limit your travel over the next 10 to even 18 hours because we're still going to be tracking the potential for more snow, sleet, and freezing rain as we head into tonight. We want to send things over now to Gabriella Garcia for a final check of traffic.
Yeah, still tracking that road closure in Logan. State Route 664 closed past State Route 56 for some flooding. Go ahead and take State Route 93 to avoid that situation. Also seeing another situation up far north there. Expect some lane closures here. I-71 northbound past State Route 61. This is in Marengo. Watch out for that if you have to be on the roadways. Taking a look at your traffic cameras, though, it's a good time to not be on the roadways, especially that top left corner 23 at State Route 95. That's in Marion County. Stay home, you guys.
Good advice. All right, remember there are quite a few school closings already for tomorrow, so to get a list sent straight to your phone, text the word closings to 614-460.